One day you woke up and realized you don't recognize the world around you. Until Trump. President Trump came along and said, "This is your country, and that's your money." And he wouldn't back down. All the people that were destroying you came out and spoke against him. They went to great lengths to undermine his agenda. When President Trump hit his stride in 2019, they released a biological weapon that was the largest psyop in global history. COVID. They ran the scamdemic. They extorted trillions of dollars out of your economy. Then they stole your election overtly, hijacked your democracy, put up barbed wire fencing around your capital, and told you it was normal. During the next 4 years, they would unleash an invasion the likes of which no nation had ever seen. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of illegals poured in the United States of America and began gobbling up whatever remaining resources were in existence. You were deemed a domestic terrorist by those in power. They surveilled your phones, your computers. They surveilled your lives, but it wasn't enough to stop Donald Trump. When they couldn't undermine his campaign through the courts and lawfare, they eventually tried to kill him again and again and again, until that fateful day in November when President Trump and America reclaimed their sovereignty. With him, he brought the richest man on the planet, for free, named Elon Musk. They then began uncovering and publicizing all of fraud, theft, waste, and abuse of the American taxpayer. They have threatened him. They have threatened his family. Subversion is all they have left. Infiltration is all they have left. Their funding is drying up. This is your Liberation Day.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Today is April 10th, 2025. Shout out to everybody catching this on the live. If you're catching this on the live, come on in. Come on in. If you're catching this on the replay, simply type in replay in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll place timestamps at the bottom in the description of the YouTube video so you can jump back and forward and back, whatever you want to do for those of you that aren't catching this on the live. Before we begin, just like as we do every time we jump in, I got to give a huge shout out to the moderators in the chat, because the moderators in the chat keep everything going. They keep everything going. Bring the trolls in, bring them in. We don't need to time them out. We just need to say what's up. Maybe get a difference of opinion. Maybe there's an opportunity for them to change their mind. I don't know. Let me know. And then I want to give a huge shout out to everybody catching this on the live. Shout out to everybody catching this on the live. Kudos. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? I want to give a roll call real quick. What is going on, my mind? What's up, my mind? What's up, Stephanie? Stephanie in the house. Thelma in the house. Terry in the house. What is up? Colleen, she says, "Hey, Tyson, great to see you. Hope you're doing well." I am doing fantastic, Colleen. Thank you for asking. Doing absolutely great. It's getting hot. It's getting hot up in Vegas. It is getting hot. I got shorts on. It's hot. I've been wearing flip-flops for the past 4 days. Great. Stephanie says, "Intro, superb." Kudos to you, Stephanie. Thank you. What's going on, Cheryl? What is up? All right. Thelma, we love you. Best chat ever. Let's go. How is everybody doing in the chat today? Shout out to the folks in the chat. Boy, oh boy. What a day. Let me know how you're doing in the chat. Stephanie says, "Please, everybody, smash the like button." Yes, exactly. Thank you, Stephanie. The only cost of admission, right, is to smash the like button. That's all you got to do. Even if you don't like the video, smash the like button. Just give it a like. And if this is your second time, if this is your second or third time rolling around, you're like, dude, I like these videos. Think about smashing the subscribe button too. If not, no big deal. You're still welcome here. This is no discrimination. No discrimination here. Trolls are welcome too. What's going on, innocent man? What is up? Terry says, please bear with me. I'm watching working on cleaning and cooking. It's not easy working and managing the house. I bet. I give you all the respect in the world, Mr. Terry. You got a big, you got to handle a lot, and you're doing fantastic. You're doing an absolute amazing job at it. Give a shout out to Terry, everybody. All right. Let's what's up with April 20th? April 20th. What's going on with martial law? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with that. All right, let's jump in. Let's jump in, shall we? Y'all ready? Y'all ready for a show? We got a solid show today. We got a good show today. Every day's a good show. Every day's a decent, good show, but we got a good show today. We got tariffs, we got tantrums, we got Trump on top. This is how we rocking it. Well. Would you look at that? President Donald Trump and the team just passed the big, beautiful bill, the biggest bill I've ever seen. He nuked Nancy Pelosi's retirement fund, slapped China with a 145% tariff, and made Wall Street cry before I made my egg and ground beef burrito for lunch. It's like this man woke up and said, what if we try real leadership in this country for once? The big bill includes massive tax cuts, 1.5 trillion in waste slashed like it was a Weight Watchers ad, border security juiced up like Hunter Biden's blood panel, DEI programs are flushed faster down the toilet than Kamala Harris's approval rating. The final vote for the big, beautiful bill was 216 to 214. It was tighter than Joe Biden's hip flexors after 10 seconds standing at that podium. Poor guy. And of course, we had Wall Street in an absolute panic. They clinched their pearls, sold out their stocks, and fainted like it was 1929. And it's still going on. Then boom. The Dow rebounded over 2,900 points after Trump softened the tariff hammer for our allies. He said, relax. You can still sell us wine and microchips. But China, you're going to pay up. Meanwhile, RFK says that he's solving autism by September. Kudos to RFK for that, which is great because it gives us a whole 5 months to prep for anything that's coming down the pipe. Maybe some crazy conspiracy stuff that might happen from the left. We know how they like to roll. And speaking of absolute freakouts, we have more left just cooking. Left is going to continue to cook with the left. New York, Trump just told Sanctuary City, New York Mayor Adams, you built this mess, you pay for it. FEMA cut $188 million in migrant funds, and now Adams kind of throwing a fit a little bit. And on the cartel front, Trump's Coast Guard just seized over $500 million of cocaína. The cartels are scrambling. Drug lords are sweating. They're figuring out different ways how to move their money, maybe thinking about a plan B. And meanwhile, over at Fannie Mae is a Fannie Mae, the swamp. It's a home. Official home. How do I put this to you guys? It's a financially backed, government-backed mortgage entity. Bill Pulte fired over 100 fraudsters, slashed DEI nonsense, and made himself chairman. What do you call this? We call this America is Back, baby. Let's jump in. What is up? Those of you that are dropping in the live, come on in, come on in. Love A. Lee, she says, great intro. It's the truth. Absolutely. Posed us as pandemic, quote unquote, allegedly. I got to say this for the YouTube purposes because I don't want to spread misinformation on the platform, but stole 2020 election. I don't want to create an uproar on the social media platform here. LJ writes, Tyson, it was 94 degrees 2 days in a row. I'm damn sure you have your AC on. Believe it or not, LJ, I do not have my AC on just yet. I have these beautiful plantation shutters that keep the sun out. I actually have the back door open right now because it's actually kind of nice, but I got the fan going on right above me. The AC is not on yet. I think it's only 78 in the house, which is a little warm. It's a little toasty. Don't get me wrong. We're sweating in places that we shouldn't be, that we don't sweat in the winter, if you know what I'm saying. Terry writes, I thought FEMA was broke, according to Mayorkas. FEMA was apparently broke. 68 degrees here. Shout out, shout out. 68 degrees. That's beautiful weather. It's only misinformation when it's a truth about a Democrat. All right, guys, let's jump into this first topic today, okay? You guys ready? Trump budget bomb drops the swamp. He's draining it like he poured Drano down the sink. You guys remember this clip here? Donald Trump said this a few days ago. I'm going to rewind. This is about a 30-second clip, and then we're going to jump into what happened.
If we slash taxes on American workers and producers, our economy will soar, jobs will surge, manufacturing will boom, and our country will prosper like never, ever before. We got to get this big, beautiful deal done. We got to get it done, and get it done now. Don't wait 2 weeks. Don't wait 2 weeks. Bad things happen. Crazy things happen in politics. Just get the damn thing done and stop showboating. A couple of people want to, sure, I got to get a little bit more. A little bit more. You know what you're going to get? You end up getting nothing. You end up getting a Democrat bill or worse. If we slash taxes on American workers and producers, our economy will soar. Jobs will surge.
Donald Trump looks good in the tux, doesn't he? That's what LJ writes. Donald Trump looks good in the tux. So today is the big news. It's great news. House Republicans passed the Senate Amendment Budget Resolution Bill, allowing us to move forward with the one big, beautiful bill. This is some big news coming out of D.C. today, and it's not a leak on Biden's nap schedule. This is actual news here. Here we got Speaker of the House Mike Johnson talking about this here. Donald Trump just pulled off a major W with the House, just barely passing this massive budget framework, affectionately known as the Big Beautiful Bill. I know it's a hilarious name, but it's very fitting for Donald Trump, just like the gold card. Let's jump into Speaker Mike Johnson.
I told you not to doubt us. The media always does. The Democrats always do. But we get the job done, and we're really grateful to have had the big victory on the floor just now. It was a big one, a very important one. The big news today, of course, is we passed the budget resolution. We adopted the Senate's amendments to the resolution, holding in place all of the commitments and the instructions, the guidelines that the House originally enacted. And that was a big step because that will allow us now to move forward, to have our committees actually drafting the one big beautiful bill. There's a lot of work ahead of us, and we're really excited about that. In November, the American people delivered unified government to the Republican Party. They returned President Donald J. Trump to the White House. They gave us control of the House and the Senate, and we are going to make good by that. We have a big responsibility. In the budget reconciliation bill, the reason we call it the one big beautiful bill, everybody in this crowd of journalists knows that all the components that will be in that. We're talking about ensuring that the border is secure, having the resources that are necessary to do that. We're talking about getting the American economy going again by reducing regulations. We're talking about restoring peace through strength and making sure we have the measures in place to properly fund those priorities. We have a lot of things, American energy dominance, all the components that will make things better for Americans, drive down the cost of living, and get our economy really going again. And of course, not the least of which, the big components of the one big beautiful bill is to ensure that we don't have the largest tax increase in U.S. history all at once, which is what would happen at the end of this year if we didn't accomplish this mission, because the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, the tax cuts from the first Trump administration, as we know, would expire. So a big day for us. We will now get the committees operating on all cylinders. They'll be working over the 2-week district work period that encompasses Passover and Easter. They'll take a couple of days off for those holy celebrations and then keep their sleeves rolled up and get right back to work. The committees in the Senate and the House will be working in a collaborative fashion. We've explained that this really is a one-team approach by Republicans in both chambers. I'm so grateful to Leader Thune and his steady hand of leadership. We had a joint press conference this morning making our commitments known of what we're going to try to do. And that is ensure real savings for the American people, because we have to do that. We have a responsibility to get our country back on a sound fiscal trajectory, and also make sure that we ensure and protect those essential programs. It's a good day.
Let me break this down real quick. So we're talking about slashing useless government bloat, funding the wall and supercharging border security, and squeezing the woke out of federal programming like it's expired whole milk. The final tally on this, like I said in the intro, was 216 to 214. Super tight, super thin. You can guess who voted no on this bill. Let me know if you know. You can drop it down in the chat because we already know. Speaker Mike Johnson and John Thune hustled behind the scenes to make this work, and they made it work because those tax cuts were expiring at the end of 2025. Democrats are now still tweeting to this day, to this moment, as we're on the live, that this is dangerous. These cuts are going to affect the EPA emotional wellness training program. How could they? How could they cut the EPA emotional wellness training program? How could they cut DEI programs? How could they secure the border? Why would they do that? Why would they secure the border? I think this is a really solid win coming out of the administration, specifically after we've been getting win after win after win. But this was much needed because this does help with the tariff situation and hopefully fast tracks tax relief, and then also fast tracks Jerome Powell to drop the rates, the interest rates, supercharges border security and military funding. And it strips out the climate control craziness and DEI quotas. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think about this. Democrats couldn't stop it. It was coming in hot. It came in like a wrecking ball. I'm going to jump into the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this. I think this was a solid move here. Solid move. Scott Bassett, he did a presser on C-SPAN, and he stood up and he said, "This is what the American people voted for. This is what the American people voted for. We're working for the Americans. We're no longer working for big corporations." Here's what Donald Trump tweeted about this, or truthed. Is that how you say it? Truthed it? He truth socialed it.
Right now from Truth Social, he's saying, congratulations to the House on the passage of a bill that sets the stage for one of the greatest and most important signings in the history of our country. Among many other things, it will be the largest tax and regulation cuts ever even contemplated. Make America great again. That just coming in here from President Trump as he is reacting to the House voting to pass a framework or a blueprint for his budget bill. Here from lawmakers. And I did want to share this with you. This is from Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent. I'm going to read the entire quote for you as you just see a portion on your screen. It says, "This vote is more than a budget win. It's a statement of purpose and strength, which affirms the Trump administration's commitment to delivering growth and opportunity. I'm greatly encouraged by the incredible Republican unity under President Donald J. Trump's leadership and the historic speed by which the House is acting to stand with American taxpayers and job creators. The Trump administration will continue pushing for the certainty, simplicity, and stability that will unlock long-term prosperity for all Americans."
Mic drop for Mr. Scott. Mic drop for Mr. Scott. Smart guy. They're working for the American people, and I like it. I like it. Let me jump into the comments real quick. I don't know what happened here. All right. It says, let me just make sure something popped up on my audio here. Okay, cool. Is that a blue tie? Is it blue tie day? I don't know. I don't know. LJ writes, it's called the green door. Stephanie had wrote that Melania is not going to like that clip of Donald Trump. Not going to like that clip of Donald Trump because his hair was not on proper mode there, but it's all good. It is all good. LJ, we just did the White House tour since it opened. Oh, that is amazing. That is amazing. Terry writes, thank you so much, Terry. Really appreciate you. You are a much better speaker than this clown. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it still does have to pass the Senate. 100%. LJ is right about that. But I think this is a good move forward. It's a good move forward, I think. My personal opinion. When he wrecked him. Yep. Awesome. All right. Let's jump into this because we're still on, the tariff news is going to be in and out. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we already know what's going on. But Donald Trump nukes Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer about having not any guts. These guys don't have any guts. Surprised Nancy Pelosi still has guts. She's like, what, 106 years old, this woman? During a presser, it was yesterday, I believe it was, Donald Trump called out Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, and he said that they were spineless. They've been career politicians this entire time who talked tough about trade, and they folded faster than Hunter Biden with a pile of cocaine on a desk. President Trump just lit a fire underneath the swamp with this clip. Let's jump into this.
On tariffs. Watch.
Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, everybody knew you had to do it, but they never had the guts to do it. It does take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's going to take a little conditioning.
Well, Jason, I still don't know. What is the Democrats' trade plan? Do you know what it is?
They don't have one.
Well, this is the problem for the Democrats. They have no alternative. They have no plans. They have no strategy. They're leaderless at this point. And President Trump is absolutely right. Look, there was a time where Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer were going to the floor in the House and the Senate and demanding that they do this type of tariff and put these tariffs in place. So the video doesn't lie. And when you show it, it just gets to be embarrassing for them. I think, by the way, Chuck Schumer I think his days are numbered. They're numbered as the minority leader. I don't think he'll be reelected. And I think the Democratic Party has a problem because they've lurched to the left that nobody recognizes and nobody wants to be. It's a party of maybe 15% of the country.
I'm looking at the market right now, and it's continuing to head south. I mean, it's not wiped out yesterday's gains by any means, but we are heading south. I think it's because there's a possible delay in getting these tax cuts through. What say you?
Yeah, I've said many times on your show, Stuart, I really think the reconciliation package is the most important, biggest story of the year. If President Trump and the Republicans can act as a team, get this done, it will be the biggest economic impact for this country long term. They have to do it. If you combine that with the cuts that Doge and others are talking about, cutting in federal spending, our country will finally be back on a trajectory of growth and sustainability. But
Speaking of Doge, they just found out they found a bunch more money. Because you know what Democrats hate more than Trump? They hate letting Americans keep their own money. And this has been this consistent thing that has been going on. Trump's over here playing chess while the other fools are playing checkers. It's crazy to me. The left is still going to cry about the big, beautiful bill. They're going to they're going to cry and complain about the tariffs. But at the end of the day, it's about keeping America healthy. It's about keeping America healthy. I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today. He asked me, hey, what do you think about the tariffs? And, I agree with a lot of folks here in the chat. And I agree that, this was a really positive move to get China to come up with some better trade. 75 other countries agreed to offset the imbalances on the reciprocal tariffs, except for China, which he slapped on an additional percentage today. Let me know what you guys think about this in the chat. I'm going to jump into the chat real quick. Her guts are Botoxed weekly. Nancy Pelosi's guts are Botoxed weekly. I bet they are. I don't even want to envision how Nancy Pelosi's guts look like. Gosh, you got me thinking about Nancy Pelosi's guts now. Dang it. They are dusty. That's what's going on with her guts. Dusty guts. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi don't have any balls. Nancy's guts are pickled. Nancy Pelosi is still the live action crypt keeper. She is. She is. Remember, I shared a clip a couple videos ago about Nancy Pelosi and the trade, Chuck Schumer in the trade, talking super tough. We need to fight the war on trade with China. And then as soon as it comes around, nope. Hey, listen, Shum, here's some money you can put in your pocket. Let's keep the trade as it is. Finding money is winning. Yes, it is. Drugs is what's keeping Pelosi alive. You think they're pumping her with the same Biden juice, the Joey juice? They're giving her the Joey juice. Oh man. The US, this is good news. US markets, they've been going up and down. It's just what it is. Sky News did a decent report on this. US market slide as tariffs on Chinese goods climb up to 145%. 145% for China. Trump said, China, 145% tariffs for you, Mr. Chinaman. Trump hit China with this 145% tariff. Wall Street responded like they always do, but we know what's going on. The sledgehammer is still swinging, and Trump's swinging through the Beijing front door like he's looking for orange chicken. Trump dropped the tariff hammer on China, boosting their total import tax to a staggering 147%. 145. That is wild. It's not a typo. It's not a misspeak, misinformation, or anything like that. White House clarified this earlier today that 125% new plus 20% already in place. Wall Street had a breakdown, nervous breakdown. S&P 500 was down 4%. NASDAQ slid faster than Biden sliding down the stairs of Air Force One. Tech stocks, they tanked too. Tim Cook's yoga instructor might be out of work. Financial media is still crying. Let's jump into this clip.
Deal.
Would love to be able to work a deal. They've really taken advantage of our country for a long period of time. They've ripped us off beyond anybody, nobody. How people stood for it, sitting in my position, is not even believable. And we're talking about many presidents, not just a couple. But they did, and all we're doing is putting it back in shape. We're resetting the table. And I'm sure that we'll be able to get along very well. I have great respect for President Xi. He's been, in a true sense, he's been a friend of mine for a long period of time.
But there has been a sigh of relief, at least when it comes to Europe, as the EU suspends its retaliatory 25% tariffs on the US goods. And that includes motorcycles and fruit, as well as soybeans. That's in the wake of Donald Trump's universal 90-day pause. The president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, is hopeful that negotiations will be successful during this next period. Trump praising her decision, calling the EU tough and smart.
Would love to be able to work a deal. They've really taken advantage of our country for a long period of time. They've ripped us off beyond anybody, nobody. How people stood for it, sitting in my position, is not even believable. And we're talking about many presidents, not just a couple. But they did, and all we're doing is putting it back in shape. We're resetting the table. And I'm sure that we'll be able to get along very well. I have great respect for President Xi. He's been, in a true sense, he's been a friend of mine for a long period of time.
Trump said that a deal with China is still possible. I don't know. I think so. Hope so. Trump also stated that the transition is going to be difficult for the United States citizens. So did JD and a lot of the other folks of the administration. Short-term pain for long-term dominance. Meanwhile, China's still throwing a fit. They slapped 84% tariffs on American goods and started blocking United States movies. Like Disney movies. You know what, China? You can keep the Disney movies because they all went woke. You can keep, you know what? Trump, you should send them all the Disney movies as a waterboarding tactic. To have them watch Snow White. Okay. And now consumer prices could rise because, outsourcing our entire supply chain to slave labor wasn't necessarily the right thing to do, but it did bring down costs. But who wants cheap crap anyways, right? Who wants cheap China crap anyways? American manufacturing is coming back. American jobs are coming back. And that's actually good for America, not for China. China's economic system is solely based off of exporting goods. Imagine if one of their main exporting companies out there completely collapses. China's entire economy would go down as well. And I think this is what the strong arm is. And this is what Donald Trump and the administration is doing.
Tariffs were just one topic discussed during the president's cabinet meeting today. Sky's David Blevins has more now on it from Washington, D.C.
Around the world, we went in the space of 90 minutes. Another very lengthy press conference mid-cabinet meeting covering everything from the state of the markets to the potential for trade deals to his hopes in relation to the talks with Iran taking place this weekend and his hopes for a ceasefire in Ukraine. But of course, much of the time was taken up with questions about what's going on in the markets as a result of his tariffs policy. He described yesterday as the biggest day in the history of the markets, but used one word rather negatively 3 times. The president spoke about transition difficulties, transition costs, transition problems. Now, he never quite got to the point of defining what he meant by transition, but the only transition I can think of is the one between tariffs being imposed and tariffs being paused then yesterday. Now, he said it's all going to work out well. He didn't take any responsibility at all for the chaos we've witnessed in the markets. Instead, when he got a question about what happened this morning, the drop in the US markets, he deferred to his Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, who said they were up 10, down 5, not a bad ratio, and he didn't see anything unusual today. He also then deferred to his Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, who said they really didn't have enough hours in the day to deal with the more than 75 countries who are knocking on the door, he claims, seeking a trade deal. The president was asked about how soon some of those deals could take place. He said, I could do it in one day if I want to, but they've got to be good deals. And I think we heard for the first time that he's considering bringing in lawyers from external law firms to help those who now have just 90 days to try and negotiate some of those deals.
They're on a tight timeline, 90 days to negotiate these tight timelines. They're on a 90-day reciprocal pause for the tariffs. This is the first time in 30 years that America, at least in my opinion, is playing offense, playing defense, and hide the money in Democrat pockets for so long. I'm going to jump into the comments here. Okay. If Tesla makes one more dip, and hold for 3 to 5 years, NVIDIA and Taiwan semiconductors are going to be big movers soon. Shout out to Michael for that. Shout out to Michael for that. It's been great entertainment, but they've also been so destructive. They have been. They have been. Why is the EU trying to protect soybeans? The entire world should tax soy into the sun. That garbage is bad for everyone. Ooh, Patrick Kennedy dropping rhymes. Ain't that the truth? If I have to pay more for others' children, I'm okay with that. 100%. I am too. I'm good with that. I don't want some 6-year-old that's been working for 6 weeks making Nike shoes. I don't even buy Nikes anymore, but been making Nike shoes to get a wonton. Man, that was very racist. To get some noodles. You know, they don't even pay them right out there. I don't understand why liberals don't get a healthy economy means we have more exports than imports. Yes. And the United States is one of the largest consumers of goods. So they need us. As much as the Dens talk about transition, he cannot honestly say that's the only transition he knows. I know. As soon as this gentleman was talking right now, I was thinking, man, I could think about 2 things that that remind me of transition. But hey, that's his situation. China needs to not own land on U.S. soil. Hope there's some deal to get them out. You know what? That is crazy. If you look at the map on how much land, United States land, China owes, this is a good point, Love Ali. They own a lot. And remember, back in the Obama administration, they were offering foreign individuals, specifically China, if they invested a particular amount, they could get their U.S. citizenship. There's a lot of places downtown here in Las Vegas that are in these kind of areas that are getting rejuvenated, that are getting revitalized, that Chinese entities and Chinese individuals, there's like 20 individuals on this property, and it's like it's a former hotel or former motel or former grocery store, and they've been sitting vacant forever. All they did, they just popped the money in there, they got their card, and they didn't do anything in regards to to stimulate the downtown Las Vegas economy. And I'm sure if they did that here, they did that everywhere else too. Good point. Thank you for that. Like I said, the tariff thing was the biggest weave he ever pulled. 0 tariffs across the board. China pays the price. Yep. I think it was a great play. It was a great play to manipulate the situation and strong arm them. Waterboard them with Disney movies. Yeah, that is. Imagine that. Just a rerun, a repeat of a recent Disney movie, a recent Disney remake. Why they got to remake The Lion King? Why they have to remake Snow White? And then change, Lion King's Jamaican now. Snow White's black. Little Mermaid. Just write a new story. They don't have any creative juices flowing that they can't write a new story. They got to change the color of the characters. They got to change, their sexual preferences. They got to change who they like, who they don't like. It was wild. The Snow White situation with this movie, they didn't want to put in real dwarfs. They originally filmed it with real dwarfs. And they said, "Oh no, that's bad." How do you think the dwarfs felt? They filmed the entire movie and you CGI'd them out. I'd be pissed if I was a dwarf. You're like, yo, this is my only gig. The dwarf is in the name, Snow White and 7 dwarfs. And you didn't give me the gig? I've been waiting my whole life for this. I'm sick of selling fungible resources to outsiders. Yep. The devil doesn't inspire creativity. That's why they steal old stories over and over. Yep. Make dwarfs great again, right? Like, I want to see some live action dwarfs, like I saw some dwarfs wrestle. That was pretty fun. They want CGI Americans. Yep. The little mermaid is Little Merman. Oh man. I feel bad for the dwarfs. I don't know how I got on this topic, but I feel bad for the dwarfs. They waited their whole life. They got one shot, like Eminem. They filmed it and they said, nope. We're going to CGI you. What? I would buy a Make Dwarfs Great Again hat. Little people are awesome. Keep it real. Yeah, for sure. They are. They're great. I love him. We need a new Aquaman. DC is killing it. I have a photo of a dwarf in traffic on an electric scooter looking rough, probably fired from Snow White.
Got him.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. That's hilarious. All right. Let's jump into this next topic here. Be sure to smash the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithms. Also, if you're not part of the Discord group, the Discord group link is in the description down below. RFK says he's gonna have a breakthrough with autism by September. I think this is good. RFK just said that we will finally know what causes autism by September, which is amazing because apparently for the past 30 years, nobody's been able to figure out what's going on there. Let's jump into this.
Going at your direction, we are going to know by September. We've launched a massive testing and research effort that's going to involve hundreds of scientists from around the world. By September, we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
So big. Think of that. So it was 1 in 10,000 children had autism.
1 in 10,000 children have autism. Could it be potentially, presumably, the combination of stuff that they put in the food? Could it be, presumably, probably, the medications that they pop children on? Could it be, presumably, some of the stuff that they tell us that's good for us, but it's not? Could it be, possibly, vaccines? I don't know. I'm just a guy on YouTube.
And now it's 1 in 31. Not 31,000, 31. That's a horrible statistic, isn't it? And there's got to be something artificial out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
There will be no bigger news conference than that. So that's it. If you can come up with that answer.
Yes, correct. Thank you. Thank you, Blue Neptune. 1 in 10,000 was in the 70s, 1 in 30 now. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate that. It's 1 in 30 now. Thank you.
Where you stop taking something, you stop eating something, or maybe it's a shot, but something's causing it. It can't be from 10,000 to, can you imagine that, Marco? That's a big number. Thank you very much. You're doing great. Thank you, Bobby.
What do you guys think about this? Rates have skyrocketed. Parents want answers. What do you guys think about this? Frosting on the cereal. It's crazy. 1 in 30. That's frightening. It's a good amount of children are born with it, so sometimes it's genetic. I think this is good news. RFK said that they'll have something by September. Hopefully they'll have something by September. We'll see. My autism directly influenced by my online activities.
Got him.
Oh, that's frightening. Criminal stats are criminal. What? Corey Robinson out of left field with it. Dwarf corn is on the rise. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Don't send me nothing though. I don't. Out of my son's class, 3 out of 4 are on the spectrum, and the other class as well. Wow. Thelma writes, what should be What should be the fluoride in the water? Michael, good point. Possibly the vax situation and the stuff that they're putting in food. We need to see your browser history, Corey. I don't even want to look it up. I'm not even going to look it up because I don't want to get any of these computers messed up. Next thing you know, I'm getting ads. I don't want any of that. It's showing me stuff on Amazon. I'm like, nope. I just looked it up one time. Good question. LJ writes, off topic, Tyson. What car insurance company has the best rates in Clark County? Geico is ripping me off. Geico is expensive. Let me actually pull it up right now. I'll get that answer for you. I think I have. Let me check. I have State Farm. I shopped around quite a bit. I have State Farm. Let me if I can pull up his contact info right now. Here it is. You ready? Shout out to Michael for the new membership. Thank you so much, Michael. Really appreciate you. So LJ, I have State Farm. State Farm seemed to have the best price. Here's the number. I'll give it to you right now. His name is Jason. 702-453-9500. Guys, don't be blowing them up. Best at least in my opinion. They worked really well with me. And then if you're out there in Overton, I believe, so you might actually be cheaper. Terry writes, I have Farmers because they're affiliated with Walgreens. Yeah, you probably get a discount for that. That's freaking awesome. I love that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I was thinking of Pahrump because I used to have my car insurance. I used to have my cars insured in Pahrump. And then I switched to Clark County because initially I had Costco. I had whatever Costco was using before, and I think it was Geico or actually it was Progressive. Excuse me. The company that Costco was using was Progressive, and then they started raising rates, and then I called Jason from State Farm. I have a bicycle. Thanks, Biden. All right. Let's jump into this next situation right here. We got the cartels. Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi. DOJ announces $509 million on coca busted, and it was tied to the cartel. Be sure to smash the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. The DOJ just yanked $500 million of coca from the hands of the cartel. And suddenly it seems like the Sinaloa guys have to update their resume or figure out another way. Let's jump into this.
And the Department of Justice components, working closely with the U.S. Coast Guard. And look at all these great men and women in the Coast Guard. Thank you so much for your dedication. This is a textbook example of the Justice Department supporting the fight against violent crime. These drugs are worth over $500 million. Almost 45,000 pounds of cocaine, pure cocaine, uncut.
Why she got to say pure cocaine, uncut?
And 3,800 pounds of marijuana. Congratulations again to the Coast Guard. You have done incredible work, Admiral, and your team, Captain, in securing these drugs. This team, with all the agencies I just mentioned, used drones, aircraft, and ships to interdict the traffickers off the coast of Peru, Ecuador, and the Galapagos Islands. What they did saved countless American lives, countless lives. This cocaine would have been distributed throughout our country and perhaps throughout our world. 11 separate prosecutions will take place as a result of this, and they will be prosecuted in the Middle District of Florida. These defendants will be held accountable for bringing this poison into our country. I always say if we can save one life, we have done amazing work. And today we have saved thousands and thousands of lives as a result of this incredible cooperation.
I love that. That just actually gave me the chills right now. This is real border control. This is real accountability, and real stuff actually wins the game versus having Biden's open border policy, having letting all these people in. The Coast Guard decided to step up their gameplay like they're going full Jason Bourne on the Sinaloas. They intercepted 45,000 pounds of what Pam Bondi says, pure, uncut coca, and nearly 4,000 pounds of cannabis. The street value on this stuff was $509 million. It's $500 million in cartel cash. Gone faster than Hunter Biden's laptop at a Delaware pawn shop.
We believe two cartels, CJ&G and Sinaloa, were heavily tied to these shipments. This is a major blow to their financial operations and their efforts to distribute drugs throughout our country. It's an example of a prosecutor-led, intelligence-driven approach to stopping these criminal enterprises in their tracks. DOJ and all of the agencies involved will continue to dismantle this transnational criminal organization, lock these criminals up, and keep our country safe. The drugs that you have seen today will no longer destroy lives. They will help us lock up the criminals. Thank you all, and it is my honor to introduce the director of the Federal.
Shout out to Pam Bondi and the team for doing this. This isn't a small win. I think this is a very big win because that's a lot of drugs that would have hit the street. Trump and the team and Pam Bondi's team, they pulled this off. It's great. It's fantastic. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. They also bagged a few of these Tren de Aragua guys too. The Venezuelan gang that has been moving through the southern border. They also nabbed a few of those guys too. pure cocaine. LJ. God, I miss living in Florida. Oh, LJ is all stepped up now. That's funny, Michael. Not in Florida. This was pure. Yeah, Thelma writes, where's the list? Where's the list? Stephanie, she's trying to trap Hunter. She's getting him. Hunter's getting reeling in. All they need to do is they just need to roll out a line for Hunter, a big long line right into prison. He'll snort that thing all the way into the cell. Michael writes, I'm in Florida. I still don't trust Pam. Sorry, not sorry. Never have, never will. For sure. You know, ain't this the truth? You know how you know a lawyer is lying? They're moving their lips. Yeah, they are sneaky folks. Yeah, I think I see a comment regarding the children in the chat. For sure. I think that's definitely something that needs to be hit. I think that's something that needs to be addressed really quickly because it happens pretty consistently in regards to these children going MIA. You know, and I do feel that closing and maintaining a closed and tight border does help with some of that, but there's also stuff going on internally in the United States where kids go MIA, and it sucks. It super sucks. Stop sending your garbage to us. Yep. Only 10% of U.S. cocaine comes in through Florida, mostly through Mexico. A lot of it they mix with Oh man, a lot of it they mix with fentanyl in to keep more attractive to children, and children have died being near it. It's sad. Meanwhile, Hunter is pissed they got his stash. Yeah, that's the sad thing. That's the sad thing. These people, the street level dealers, I don't know this. I'm just presumably for the YouTube purposes, the street level dealers, they cut it up and then they add the fentanyl in it. They add the other stuff in it. They add the baking soda in it. They add the other stuff in it. A to bulk it up, and then to make it more addictive. Then these people get hooked on it, and then they're doing all this, and they don't know if they're hitting the fentanyl or if they're hitting the pure white. It's sad. It really is sad. Terry writes, Pam Bondi is a savage. Wendy, how long has Trump admin been in office? It hasn't even hit 100 days yet. These guys are rocking and rolling, at least in my personal opinion. We got some good stuff coming down the pipe, especially at least in regards of United States economy and these things, closing the borders. Kristi Noem's doing a great job. Pam Bondi's doing a decent job. Cash, really haven't heard too much about Cash, but they're doing some really good stuff. Yeah. Patrick Kennedy writes, don't make me do a Sound of Freedom movie night again. Yeah. Yeah, tap into the Discord link. There's movie nights. Patrick Kennedy often hosts them. Shout out to Patrick Kennedy for doing that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sound of Freedom was a good movie. That was a good movie. Even a whiff, children have died from being in the same room. I saw a video of a 13 and oh man, that is sad. You know, I actually saw a video, some body cam footage of a police officer that was exposed to it. And he actually touched it. It wasn't through like a heavily protected glove. And I don't remember if he placed the glove back on or something, but he barely touched it and he was out. All right, let's jump into this next topic here. We have Trump pulls the plug on New York City migrant money. Donald Trump told New York City that if you want a sanctuary city, he said, sanctuary it with your own wallet. This is what Donald Trump said. New York City just got dumped and they got dumped hard. Donald Trump and FEMA just slashed $188 million in federal migrant funding. And it was going straight to New York City, to the bottomless woke pit budget, just like California. These guys aren't getting any more free cash. They're not getting hooked up in luxury migrant hotels anymore. No 3-meal-a-day room service situation. No more yoga classes. No more self-defense classes, EBT, free rides, rental cars, whatever they were getting. Let's jump into this.
Years for not doing more to help the city, even later implying that his criminal charges were a result of his outspoken opposition. Adams today saying that the city is short $7 billion because of the Biden administration. And although the Trump administration is taking away $200 million, he says at least they are securing the border. Adams also defending his relationship with the Trump administration.
He's the president now. He's the president. Popular vote, electoral vote. We got to get over this. I got to deliver for our city. And that's what I need to do. And all those who are saying, oh, just fight and resist. I'm not part of the resist movement. I'm part of the produce movement.
There we go. Let's go.
Now, not only is the city losing this money from the feds, it is also almost $1 billion short from the state as well, since state lawmakers are making it clear in budget negotiations that they do not plan to allocate $1 billion to the city again for the migrant crisis. On top of that, FEMA today also announcing it's cutting more than $300 million from the city that was being used for flood mitigation efforts. Steve and Natasha?
All right. Thanks.
So it was like over 220,000 migrants poured into New York City over the past 3 years. In and out like a revolving door. The city burned through $7.5 billion with a B. It's like a replication of California going on here. Now Adams, since he's swaying more independent now, and he got released to some charges, he's all about it, right? Obviously, he's looking for some votes. But, hey, you know what? Good luck, man. I don't think they're going to flip the bill for this one anymore. It's not like these migrants definitely aren't ordering filet mignon and fully roasted chickens anymore. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. I'm gonna jump into the chat real quick. Kids being wronged is the line in the sand. 100%. 100%, Patrick Kennedy. LJ writes, when is Leticia James going to be charged for her mortgage fraud? You know what? I think I should do a deep dive on that, because this is the second time that came up. And yeah, that and some Social Security stuff with some other pronounced Democrats like Jasmine Crockett and AOC. I might do a deep dive on that. New York City is nearly obliterated anyways. Only a matter of time before we have escape from New York scenario. Yep. What a coincidence. 1980s films predicted what was going to happen. Escape from LA and escape from New York. That's how it's going to look. No Fed funds for New York or Cali. 100%. The city needs new leadership. I agree. Did you see the video of the cop who thought he got meth from some guy, went in the bathroom, smoked it? I did. I did see that one. That was wild. I don't know why a cop's smoking meth. That's another situation. I know you got a stressful job and all, but you don't need to be smoking meth, my man. See, that's what gets me, because in New York, presumably the SDNY and all these other stations out in New York, they've been known to be crooked for a very long time. What's going on, Kayla? 1980, Escape from New York. Do you not remember all of us red states were sending migrants to sanctuary cities? How well did that work out for you? Wink, wink. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what a crappy story. The guy went in there to go smoke. The police officer went in the bathroom to go smoke some meth. He was like, I'm on my lunch break. I'm going to go smoke some meth. And then he wakes up surrounded by cops. Cuffed to the hospital bed. What's going on, Jen? All right, let's jump into this next one here. Fannie Mae fires 100 fraudsters. Over 100 Fannie Mae employees got the boot for fraud. The new sheriff in town, this gentleman right here, Bill Pulte, turns out the housing crisis had less to do with interest rates and more to do with people pretending monopoly was actually real money. Yikes.
I showed up. Some people wouldn't even shake my hand. Today, people are so excited, so happy. They see interest rates coming down. President Trump has gotten interest rates down. People can afford homes again. People can go and get mortgages from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. We are going to have a housing boom in this country.
All right, Bill, you also announced that Fannie Mae fired about, I guess, more tthan 100 employees for what you called unethical conduct, including the facilitation of fraud. What is this? What are they accused of?
Well, we're just...
What do you mean, what is this? It's fraud.
Getting into it, and you can imagine, I mean, it's like we have 16,000 employees. So,
but you fired them and you don't know what they did wrong?
Well, we do, but it's an ongoing investigation. I will say that we found that multiple people were working 2 jobs. We found some people were working in China and saying that they were working here. And we also found that...
What do you mean working in China?
Yes, that's correct. We also found that they were making donations to the charity, and then they were getting kickbacks, the internal company charity. So we just scratched the surface, but this is all part of this fraud, waste, and abuse that President Trump is doing. And thanks to him, we're able to go in there and have the air cover to get this stuff done and get fraud out of the system, lower housing costs, and hopefully make housing affordable again in this country. And we're going to do it.
I'm sorry, but I'm a China hawk. Probably. You see, I'd decouple from the whole Chinese economy. I'm like to the right of Trump on China, which I know people think I'm crazy, but that's all right. I don't have a problem with that. But what's going on? So workers are in China, but they work for the federal government?
We'll see. Well, essentially, the government owns about 80%. Treasury owns about 80% of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And so what we're really focused on is getting operational efficiency in these companies going again. But when people weren't showing up for work, by the way, we got rid of climate, we got rid of DEI. I actually had somebody who lost their job in the climate area today come in and thank me and say, this really wasn't a necessary job. I mean, it's crazy. People are so excited. I'm telling you, the hallways of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, These companies are going to boom again. They're going to be great American icons once again.
Well, those staffers don't want to be doged either. They're going to suck up to you all day long because they want to be on your good side. I mean, that's also the case? Correct?
I mean, potentially, but you can tell fakeness when you see it, right? People know President Trump is real. People know what we're doing is real. We want to build great businesses. We want to make housing affordable again. I'm telling you, Laura, people were smiling at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac today.
I still want to know. Now you're
So he replaced. He went in. He fired 100 people, 100 plus people that were doing unethical type things, and then he installed himself, Bill Pulte, as the chairman to oversee everything. Okay, he also cut $6.4 million in DEI programs. They were probably teaching mortgage processors how to do some crazy, I don't know, some crazy DEI thing. I don't even know. His I think this is good because there was a lot of scandalous stuff going on. There's generally a lot of scandalous stuff going on with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all those things again. But if people rely on these programs again and trust these programs again, I think, at the end of the day, it's good for the economy. It's good for the housing market. Again, we got to bring down housing prices in order to make sure that it works. Because we don't need like paper pushers doing fraudulent stuff anyways. He mentioned some of the folks were working in China. What is going on here? Let me jump into the comments. Yeah, she was. You stopped watching the Ingram angle. Why did Fannie boo herself? Deshaun writes, still expensive over here in Vegas. Yeah, it is. Vegas is one of those markets that the income didn't necessarily go up in Vegas. The income barely went up. And then the cost to acquire a home went up significantly. I think it's at, I think last time I checked, I thought it was at like 40% higher than the base two income household, which is bananas to me. In California, I think it's at like 70%. Same thing with Oregon. Terry writes, I'm not too crazy about Laura Ingram. Yeah. She's been hit or miss for me. She's been hit or miss. But I saw this story regarding Fannie and Freddie, and I thought I'd bring it to you guys. I put Ingram in the same bucket as Hannity. Yeah, Hannity, sometimes his interviews don't hit. Thelma, I mainly watch Tyson. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Megyn Kelly's awesome too. Housing prices is still expensive in Las Vegas. Yep. I'm ready to trade up my house in 5 years. Hopefully the market will be rocking then. I think so. I really do think so. I'm banking, me personally, I'm banking on Vegas. I am banking on Vegas. Limited land out here. I know that they're doing some transmitter situations through the pipe, like electronic transmitters. I looked at the plans. They're running them down to Pahrump, down to North Las Vegas. I know some of these mines have recently got sold and they're putting houses there. I do personally think in the next 5 years, the housing market will be booming. The Fed just needs to lower their rates. I think the Fed will probably drop the rates. I'm thinking by the end of the year, just a little bit. If not sooner. I think we'll probably only have one rate change this year. But, and then, optimism in the economy, stimulation in the economy will help better, give more folks an opportunity to buy. LV, yep. LV median home price is 485 in January 2025, a 9% increase from last year. Yep. 4 acres in Overton. That's nice. I like that. I like that. That's cool. That's some nice acreage. Fox is just a urban monoculture parody of MAGA. Oh man. 485,000 for a home. You can buy a mansion here in Kansas City for that. Yep. Yeah, actually one of my buddies that used to live out here in Las Vegas moved out to Kansas City, and he ended up building a beautiful place on a couple acres and did a fantastic job with it. Yeah. It's crazy cuz 485,000, let's say 450,000, it doesn't get you a lot. It doesn't get you a lot out here in Las Vegas. I can't speak on other markets. I can kind of speak on, California a little bit, but I know this market. Patrick shared some videos with Tyson. Patrick shared some videos with Tyson from Angel Studios. He may be able to play them. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, thanks, California. Yeah. It's crazy to me because it was yesterday, I think it was. I had comped a mobile home, a manufactured home. It was 300,000, 1,400 square feet. I'm talking maybe 3,500 square feet of lot. Is wild. Vegas is wild. Here in CT, 450 will barely get you a 3-bedroom cottage. Yep. Location, location, location. Absolutely. The only thing that I'm perturbed about is they're bringing Hollywood 2.0 out here. They're bringing Hollywood 2.0 out here in Las Vegas, and that's something that kind of irks me a little bit. And then the location that they chose to put the studios, it's already in an affluent area. And if they really wanted to stimulate the economy, if they really wanted to stimulate Las Vegas economy, they would have put it in an area where they're doing some gentrification to bring more local businesses around. But they're putting it in like a very affluent, prominent area, which is crazy. And those folks in that area are very upset because what comes along with those studios, obviously, is the Holly weird people, but more commercial buildings, because then that's where they do the graphic design, that's where they do the video editing, that's where they do the voiceovers and all this other stuff. And then that's just going to create more traffic for those folks and then kind of deteriorate their property. They should have put it downtown. Just my personal opinion. Downtown would have been popping for that. I'm banking on NVIDIA, Intel, and AMD in Taiwan. Semiconductors, call me crazy. I think you're 100% right with NVIDIA. I think you are 100% correct with NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA is a good bank. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I think NVIDIA is a good play. It's a good play. Tyson, did you check your messages with the same guy in so many instances, including the Vegas one, Maui? I'll check it. I'll check it. Cool. All right, guys, I am going to jump on out of here. But before I do, I want to give a huge shout out to the moderators. Shout out to everybody catching this on the live. And if you're catching this on the replay, simply type in replay in the comment section down below. Patrick, I sent them to Tyson. I think I can share them with you if you haven't seen them. Are you talking about the police officer? You're talking about the police officer, right? Okay, yeah. Yeah, that police officer is also tied to Diddy too. Tied to Diddy. I got a couple things. Yeah. All right, cool guys. I'm gonna jump on out of here. I'm gonna play with the pup here because she's ready to play. She's ready to play. All right, guys. Truly appreciate you guys. I really do. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. And then also I'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. PST. Tomorrow is Friday. It's gonna be Friday night. Friday night. All right, guys. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, live chat. If you're catching us on replay, type in replay in the comment section. And until then, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you guys so much. Chat soon.